Hello and welcome to the DFS_PhD show for today, the 6th of May. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us. Congrats to my brother who took down a WSOP circuit event this weekend, got his first ring, so that was awesome. Happy for my brother. He's BMO in the chat and BMO Gumby on DraftKings. He also took down his first NHL contest last week. I don't know if I probably talked about it on the Discord, but he's killing it. As always, we're sponsored by PredictionStrike. Use promo code PhD for their best deposit bonus. Jamario, foreign star in our PredictionStrike channel, giving you good advice. I can tell you it's good advice because I'm now up an entire unit in like 2 weeks of doing this. So that's on 10, so it's like a 10% gain in a couple of weeks, just trading UFC guys who have pretty good odds and aren't that highly traded yet. Okay, so on to today's NBA game because we got some money to give away here. Giveaway. That's a fun way to think about it. So first of all, we always want to lean into where's the field very confident, series to series or game to game in a rotation that has all year not been set, right? So like for Indiana, last six, whatever the series was, they went all the way away from Jalen Smith. His minutes went to 0. You saw Isaiah Jackson as the backup 5, a little bit, and you saw mostly Siakam as the backup 5. Now, are they going to do that against Hartenstein? Are they going to do that against? I don't know. I don't know if that's a great plan because I mean, what's the goal of that? The goal of that is to what? Pull out Achua? Is that really that big of a positive for you guys? I don't know. I don't know what I'd do if I was Indiana here, but I think it's in New York's court. So that's the way that I've set it up here. I think that New York wants to bash their heads in with Hartenstein. And Myles Turner is not as good as Joel Embiid. And he was just like Hartenstein is priced like he just played 6 games or whatever it was, probably more. I don't actually remember the series, but he played a whole series against Embiid, and now his defender is Myles Turner, who's pretty good. I mean, he's not a bad defender. This is not the Myles Turner bashing show. I'm sure I have. Yeah, I was supposed to say I better have a fair amount of Myles Turner. I'm definitely bashing the field on Myles Turner today. We are not bashing Myles Turner, but we are saying he's more interested in offense than defense. Like, yeah, he wants to do some of the things up at the rim, but besides being a rim protector, I don't know, man. I mean, just like the knock on Hartenstein is that he can't be out there. I don't know if Myles Turner can be out there either. But yeah, so I built in a couple rules here. Number one, Conley and NAW. In that rotation, we know exactly what's going on, and it's an either or of Conley and NAW. So you either get to some Conley, you get to some NAW, whatever you want. Actually, I probably need to boost NAW because he's not even in the mix. Okay, I got to get him in the rotation because like him going off for what 20 points is totally. I mean, he got phased out last game. But we've seen games where Mike Conley gets phased out. Now, granted, 30%, I don't know quite what we're doing if NAW is 30%. He's a fine play. Actually, yeah, let me quickly RSVP to, let's see, RSVP to basketball right quick. Bup, bup, bup. They have a timed thing where I have to do it at this time or I don't in for tomorrow. Okay. Or I don't necessarily have a spot. Okay. So that's actually a minute early. Lol. Okay. Whoops. Well, whatever. I guess I don't normally respond to that alarm quite like that. Well, I paused it anyway. I'll do it again in 10 minutes. Make sure it's not across the line. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, not a surprise where these rules are going to get us. We've got a max one. Okay, so yeah, I looked through a few rotations. You should do it too. Make sure you're up on your popcorn machine from game 1 in the Denver Minnesota series. What happened in the second half? Some Monty Morris minutes. Okay, don't know what was going on there, but he was a +5 in a game they won by 7. So you might see more of that. Those minutes came at the expense of who? Like, there were, I don't really know. I guess. Hmm. Yeah, the first half rotation and the second half, I guess Nas, no, Nas is in there even more. Yeah, I don't know that was the cat foul. Cat is like, oh, Cat's so gross. I'm sorry if you're playing Cat. I'm going to play Cat too because you just have to. Like, season long, he's been really, really good a lot of the time. He's just killing us. He's killing me. He's killing me again and again and again. And nonetheless, I'm going to be above the field on Cat today slightly because just he hasn't hit his ceiling yet. You know he can have 50 points if he just keep his hands to himself for 1 second. Okay, now Mitchell Robinson, you want to have as much number one. It's possible he DMPs. I get that. I don't care. The case he doesn't DMP, he could be the best play on the slate. Like if he gets 24 minutes, he's the best play on the slate. And he's 12% owned. So I'm definitely going to have leverage to Mitchell Robinson. Exactly the percent you take is the percentage chance you think Hartenstein gets in foul trouble early against Myles Turner, minus the percent chance you think it's the other backup, a weird Achua rotation for whatever reason to force them to draw out Obi Toppin. I don't know. I think Indiana makes that move first, right? Indiana wants to use Obi Toppin. I think if you're going to play the big guys, if you're anyway, that's my read on the situation. And if you've been following it in the playoffs so far this year, not been working out. A lot of zeros, a lot of left part of the payout structure. Just think about that one time when it pays out. And instead of last, second to last, third to last, you get first, second to first, third to first. That's all I care about. I just like, we got a new series, and whenever you have a new series, you really got to zone in on where people are just making weird assumptions. I'm not playing 150. I'm only playing 40. I don't think that's quite enough, but you can consider if you want to. What's his actual ownership? 1% Jalen Smith? 1%? Okay. All right. I'm putting Jalen Smith and Isaiah Jackson in the versus a 10% Precious. Okay, yeah, this is what I would say. Precious Achua, Jalen Smith, and Isaiah Jackson all have the same chance to play today. One of them's 10%. So I'm going to play the other ones because I don't know. I think there's a decent chance that you could. I mean, one of the two of them, right? Do I have a fork here? Yeah, Myles, Jalen, Isaiah Jackson. So if what happens if Myles? They're assuming if Myles Turner gets in foul trouble, you definitely see Obi Toppin off the bench. That's not what happened in the regular season. Let's check it out. Myles Turner out of the game. They went to Isaiah Jackson in this game. They didn't go to Jalen Smith, but regardless, you saw how much 17 minutes of Isaiah Jackson at the Minn price. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Isaiah Jackson's game. That's a lot of Isaiah Jackson. If you're going to get him at 0.09% today, yeah, he could DMP, of course, but like 0.1%, what do you? We've got nuts of people here. So I've got to put him at like, I don't know, 15 fantasy points. He could get there easy in a 10% chance where Myles Turner doesn't keep his hands to himself and they decide to go with him instead of Jalen Smith. Now, similarly, Jalen Smith, I mean, Jalen Smith could play 24 minutes in this game. We don't know for sure they're going to go Obi Toppin. So I got to make sure that rule is right. Jalen, Obi Smith, and Isaiah are the three. Yeah. Okay. So max one of Jalen Smith, Obi Toppin, or Isaiah. Those are the three different ways they can go with the backup minutes. And they could go all the way, right? Like you don't have to see any one of these guys, but if you do see them, it's possible you see like 18 minutes of Jalen Smith, like 20 minutes of Jalen Smith. And that's enough for him to be super optimal. So we've got to include these guys that are like that, who we've seen all year long, Isaiah Jackson in winning lineups. We've seen all year long, Jalen Smith in winning lineups. You cannot not have a piece of that tonight. You must have a piece. I say, as I clearly do not have a piece in this draft, but this was clearly a wrong draft. You got to make sure when you got a rule that that you did the corresponding thing over here, right? Because you go to Isaiah Jackson, what's his outcomes? 0, a lot, and then a bunch over here. Now I think it's not 0, a lot, and centered at like 0 still. I think it should be 0, a lot, and centered at like 12 or 10 or something. I think he's going to get a fair amount of minutes. What kind of correlation did he have naturally? I just want to see how much I need to be caring about these rules or if they got it handled. Yeah, Myles Turner minus 0.09, 0.08. So they've got, they've got a minus half that for Jalen Smith. So they've got a fair amount of the correlations built in if you're not a big rules guy or if it's getting late. And so if you're doing late swap, number one, you can always late swap from your build screen. And now if you hit late swap, once you have your contests in here, it will ask you if you want to copy the settings in your current build. And you do. And that brings over all your rules. It brings over all your settings. So for me, I'm allowing up to 1,000 today because it's a short slate. And it seems like there's like a lot of weird value, right? Like, let me see how many guys I think could hit over 6x easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 guys who I think like median expectation would be 6x. Brunson even is kind of close. So, that's going to be tough to, I think we're going to have to get to a lot of Jokic today, right? Number one, I also double check where your current optimizer has Jokic. I'm going to rebuild just quickly because with that update, something's making noise in the other room. I'm the only one here, so that's fun. We'll check on what that is in a little bit. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, check on where you got your Jokic projections because Brunson's good. I understand he's going to have a high usage. He's going to play basically the whole game, maybe the whole game. You guys know Tibbs. But like, we don't want to project him within 10 points of Jokic, right? We understand Jokic is like a unique talent. Yeah, he's priced high, but honestly, 11K for Jokic, is he priced high? No, he's not. I mean, 65%, get out of town. I mean, I'll take 80% Jokic. I need just, what did I say the foul trouble percent for Jokic was, right? Like, I haven't even gotten there yet. 20%? What's his foul? Does that sound about right on the year? Like, let's look at his game log. Jokic game log. Because we can assume that anytime in the playoffs that he's been out, anytime he's lost minutes, Jokic stats maybe. Yeah, we can assume in the playoff, anytime he's lost minutes, it's been due to foul trouble. So Lakers, game 3, he lost 2. So it's like that's kind of a lot. 1, 2, 3, but he hasn't in the last 3, but it looks like, yeah, closer to 50-50 than I was expecting. Although some of these were down. No, those are important games. No, this wasn't an important game. Yeah. So only in the playoffs, we got 2 out of 6. So we've got 35%. I was leaning 35%. That's where my 65 was anyway. So we're going back to 65 from Max Jokic just because 35% really is the chance he gets in foul trouble. That probably is where you want to limit your Jamal Murray maxes and your like MPJ maxes because then you basically need Jokic to be kind of you don't need Jokic to be foul trouble for them to smash, but maybe, yeah, I just don't want to be overweight on those guys in the case where I have a lot of Jokic as well. You know what I guess I'm getting at that I need to build a rule. Okay. All right. What do we got? What do we got? Still sorting. Okay. What do I said for val? I said all my rules. Let me just make sure. Yes, I know. I need to probably follow up about that. Okay, so I said max 1 of the New York wings. It's either going to be Anunoby or Boyan. I mean, is Boyan? He's hurt, right? Never mind. That's don't need that rule. Boyan's hurt. But I did leave max 1 shooting guard. But I did notice in some of the rotations during the year when they played each other, they were both on the floor for like 18 minutes. So I'm not. I might unclick this one. Let me know. Sound off in the comments how you feel about the New York shooting guard fork, because that's what we're thinking about. So we've got the Myles, Jalen, Isaiah Jackson fork, and the Obi, Jalen, and Isaiah Jackson fork, because we got 2 different things that could happen: just a center rotation fork and a center 4 rotation fork thing that we've seen before. That's kind of max 1. Yeah, it's max 1. You could include some of the starters and make it like max 2 or 3 or something, but just kind of like we do for Minnesota is what I'm thinking. But it kind of seems like a hat on a hat. Lineups, come on. Sorting lineups. You haven't done anything, have you? Feels like it hasn't done anything. All right, so let me tell you what well, I don't remember being 100% Nas Reid at any point. So I don't know what's going on. I'm going to click X and build. Yeah, don't want to be 100% Nas Reid. That's clearly ridiculous. But I do think the combined chance that Gobert and or Cat gets in foul trouble, Gobert hasn't. Gobert's been incredible on defense. That could end. So, yeah, I think yeah, you could go there, but not 100%. I don't know what's going on there exactly. A little bit worried Saberson hasn't been as responsive as I want it to be today. I just should probably bring up the beta site. Anytime you have a problem and you're like can't get it to build right, just go to the beta site. It's using a different code base. It has your lineups, so you just click the button, see if it works there. I don't know exactly what the differences are. And this is also sometimes very much the wrong thing to do. I do remember that from last time I was doing this. But for the most part, I don't care. This is fine. And it won't let me build lineups while it thinks it's already doing it. Oh, good. Now it is actually doing it. Okay, sweet. And see, it's like with all computers, you just gotta hit reset and then it'll start working. So, all right, I think I've done pretty much all the yammering I want to do today. I guess for showdowns, the more fun one is the one that doesn't have the money up top. So I don't want to give away my secrets because it's already almost for no money at all. but I'll show you after. I have a good weird lineup. I've given, if you've paid attention, there's one move nobody's doing that I'm going to do, and I'm either going to win it all or last place, and that's where it'll be. But yeah, for the nighttime, I'm not that thrilled about this. I'll probably take a shot or two at the optimal with like guys who shot badly in game one because they will probably, I mean, it's people get over biased by specific games in the playoffs. So just like with series to series, I will probably do that game to game for guys who got extended. Like for instance, Mike Conley, smash, did great, but didn't really get that many minutes, did he? So if he wasn't smashing, what would have happened there? I don't know, but you can probably guess where I'm going. Okay, so yeah, what are going to be our cores here? Probably, yeah, Anunoby, Hartenstein. Here we go, exposure. Anunoby, Jokic. This is what I expected. Anunoby, Jokic, Nesmith, Halliburton, Nembhard. All the guys for Indiana are just underpriced, underprojected. They're going to play more minutes than I think currently are given. You should definitely make sure you have enough Mitchell Robinson. I think about 35% is an appropriate amount of chance that Hartenstein gets in foul trouble. It's a little high. That's a little high. 25? Yeah, 25. Okay. I had a chance that he gets in foul trouble early enough to lose significant minutes to Mitchell Robinson. So yeah, 25% seems about right. But yeah, that's all my what are my leverage plays here? All the ones I just said. What are my least leveraged plays? Guys, I am clearly against. No, NAW is wrong. I just had him unclicked. That will. But I thought I just ran this, right? Huh. Entry exposure. Was he in the pool this time? I thought he was. No, not in the pool? I don't know what happened there because we just reran this right now. And I want to have a little piece. I don't want to have 30% now. Jeez. I feel like it just keeps creeping up in the background, this Nickeil Alexander-Walker ownership. And I gotta say, I thought it would be not that way. Didn't he have a nonsense? 23 minutes, yeah, he got cut. Like he didn't play very much at all compared to Conley that game. I don't know. I'm not sure I believe 30% ownership. I didn't believe 20. But who knows? I mean, let me know if you're seeing that too and it makes sense to you. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Okay, some other least leverage plays, because that's totally a fine play. That's just a Saber Sim glitch or something that I can't get to go. Oh yeah, currently no Precious Achua in this. Because I think the way that Tibbs runs his rotation, there's just not that much upside for Precious. So I've included him in rules in other places too, but it's not gonna be as germane to this game. Because I think if I'm gonna take a dart throw, I'm gonna take it more on Indiana's side, where they've shown a willingness to go with weird rotations for a long time. Where I don't think we would see that. I mean, I'd have to see that from Tibbs first before I assume he's gonna do it. But yeah, I think that's all I got to say. So remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be yes. And use promo code PhD on PredictionStrike.